Welcome everyone. Today we are going to start a new segment on geopolitics, and I have a friend, a colleague, maybe a guest with me, Taraka Alawathugoda. Ayuban.
Ayuban. Hi.
Ayuban.
Hi, Chaman.
This is what you're waiting for. I think we're ready to rock.
So today we are going to discuss something related to our region.
Yes.
The reason why we are going to discuss this is India's NSA, Ajit Doval's trip to Sri Lanka recently, where he met several leaders in Sri Lankan political arena, especially those who are contesting for the upcoming presidential elections. So he met several people. I think he met President Ranil Wickremesinghe. I think he met the opposition leader, and he met
Other opposition leaders.
yes, the NPP leader also, Mr. Anurakumara Disanayaka. So it was seen something like India maybe being concerned about our elections right now. And right now the region is in a very kind of a volatile situation, right? But we've seen trends happening around the world. And right now, maybe in Sri Lanka also, we are seeing something related to those trends.
Yes.
And then, of course, we are seeing the NSA, Ajit Doval, coming here. So I want to start very briefly with these trends that are happening around the world. Shall we start with maybe 2014, 15, or maybe even before?
Yeah, so Chamara, what I wanted to bring out, maybe probably my personal observation.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be.
But looked
yeah.
like something that's happening similar around all the countries
Yeah.
in the world. So there was a time where we had a toned down, a really, what do you say?
Moderate?
A warm leader, a moderate leader like Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw a trend start forming.
Mm-hmm.
And we had probably at that time, we had the Congress during Obama's time,
Yeah.
not in the second tenure,
Yeah.
but we had a toned down leader as Manmohan Singh then.
Yes.
And then going on, we had we had the Rajapakshas governing, and it was difficult to push them. But then later on, we got a toned down leader for our country, and that was Maithripal Sirisena.
Yeah, with good governance
With
and
the
all.
good
Yes,
governance
yes,
tag.
yes,
So not with the extremist behavior.
Yeah.
So, and then suddenly a trend started forming again, probably set off by Trump.
Yeah.
So what I want to tell you is then we had even Justin Trudeau coming in. We had earlier we had Nicolas Sarkozy as the leader of France, and then we got a toned down leader as Emmanuel Macron. So and then
But
suddenly
there's a general trend of nationalism growing, especially in Europe,
yes,
and to a certain extent in US as well,
yes,
and maybe in other countries as well.
yes.
And there can be reasons. There can be different power plays going around here and there, but there was a trend, right? So, and then when it comes to our region also, we see like good governance and all that, and then Gotabaya Rajapaksa came in. So yeah, and Modi came in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these trends, they don't take place in an organic way. It's not natural. There is something happening
Power.
behind the transition of power,
Yeah.
behind how power, the mandate changes
Right.
for the people. So that's really important. And we're going to talk about a very key player who has played his trumps well,
Yeah.
who is still in power. He's 77 years old.
Yeah.
He's born before our freedom, of course, 1945. Really old, 77-year-old person.
Yes.
But he's still active, still good,
Yes.
and still working.
When you say old, it's the experience that comes with it.
Yes.
I mean, and the thing is, actually, it's really nice to discuss about some key figures in politics, because sometimes you never understand the importance or the pivotal role that they play.
Yes.
In for example, we all talk about Narendra Modi, we talk about maybe Amit Shah when you come to India, but only a few will understand the importance of people like Ajit Doval, or there may be some others as well. So how important or how experienced is Doval? Shall we discuss some of his exploits briefly?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of exploits.
ton of-
Yeah, a
yes.
ton, and we might even overflow the time that we have. But
Yeah.
I'll start with a small thing that he started in Kerala, in the Thalassery Kannur route. Well, just to tell you a little bit about his earlier life. He had passed out from the Agra University with a master's in 1967, and he was about only 21 years old.
Yeah.
Never happens in Sri Lanka, I'll tell you.
Yes.
And he
1967 was a pivotal year in India as well, when Indira Gandhi, the Congress for the first time faced serious opposition
yes,
in elections. Yeah,
That's right.
Interesting times.
Interesting times.
Yes.
And at the age of 22, he passed a very difficult exam in India. Now, I know about this because I studied in
Yeah.
India. And it's called the UPSC exam.
Yes.
It's very competitive.
Right.
And with a population like that, they only pass out only 1%. And it's very competitive. So he passes out that, and he becomes the ASP of the Kottayam district in Kerala. My good friends are there in Kottayam.
Yeah. So he's originally from Kerala?
No. He is a Gadwal.
Oh.
He's from Uttarakhand.
Uttarakhand. Okay.
Beautiful people.
So the north.
Yes.
The northernmost.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're all good looking and nice people, very sweet-hearted people. I've got friends as Gadwals as well. So his mother is probably from UP because his mother was an ex-PM's cousin sister.
Yes, Bahugunas. Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that's an important. He has a background. Also, he's a major's son. He's
Right.
Major G.N. Doval's son.
Right.
So that's where he gets his background.
Right.
And then, so there's some tension in Kerala and Thalassery Kannur district, and there were some slippers being thrown, and then people get aggravated and start fighting with each other, and there's a lot of riots, and there's some looting happening. So everybody was worried what's going to happen. And K. Karunakaran, the Home Minister at that time, he was like, we need to set someone. They send young Doval. I say young.
Yeah, at that time he was young.
He's very young.
And he was a police officer at that time.
Yes, ASP.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then he goes in 9 and starts roaming this area, starts his spy work there, collects information.
Intelligence work.
Yes. And then he finds out the people who are
involved in this,
the leaders, and then gets out what's the stress that they're having, why the two groups are fighting. Now, do I need to tell who the two religious groups are? It's obvious for India.
But it's Kerala, so there are Christians also, but this time it's not the Christians that were involved. Yeah.
So they have this, and so what he does is he deploys heavy police only where there's the coordination of the riots happening.
Right.
And then he finds out that people are only fighting because there was a lot of loot happening. And people want their stuff back.
Okay.
And that's how he fixes it.
Right. And he discusses this with the leaders who are involved. And that is really important because later on he becomes a chief negotiator. And he negotiated about 15 hijackings, as I gather.
Yeah, later on from 1971 to 1999.
Yeah, and the most famous one, IC 814. There's a Netflix series going on. You can...
Netflix fans, all Netflixers, please.
Yes, please.
You can watch that and find out what he has done.
Not a paid advertisement, but you should watch it.
Yeah. So that's how he peacefully negotiates.
Right.
And then there's books written on, there's a report written on how well he did it.
In Kerala.
Yes.
So then, obviously, Delhi
remembers, hears about this, and they call him to Delhi.
And that's it. And the star rises from there.
Rises.
Yeah. And then he was involved in Mizoram and Sikkim.
Yes.
And
Mizoram was a big pain. It still is a
Yes.
is a pressure point.
Right.
Recently,
Because it's the
they-
border.
Yes.
And that's also important. Now, Doval's visit to Sri Lanka is also related to this.
Borders.
Yes, the neighbor. Because recently he has said, addressing the border security forces, India, I mean, to develop something like this, not exact words, but to develop the economy, we need safe borders. If we had safe borders, we would have been in a better place. So, Mizoram would have been really important.
Yes.
Yes.
And Mizoram was actually one state.
Yeah.
It was under Assam.
Yeah.
Assam was a massive state.
Yes.
And the Mizoram-speaking people,
Mizo people.
Mizo people, they were discriminated against. Assamese people were getting the government jobs.
Yes, and that tension is still there between Assam and Mizoram, even now.
Yes.
Yes.
But Mizoram had some riots related to
Right.
something else
Okay.
recently.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, you're right. They are having that tension
Yes.
still.
Yes.
Do you remember another country that had an issue because of this language?
Yeah, there are lots of countries. Which language?
This language preference for one language.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course. Of course.
So then,
There are lots of countries like that, but yeah.
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 So then the Mizo National Front
Yeah.
was found, the party was found, and then what happened was Lal Denga, the leader of the party, he was leading this protest,
Yeah.
and he really wanted to handle this situation.
Yeah.
So he wanted Mizo people to have a different country.
Right.
Like
Yes.
a different sort.
Yeah, it was a separatist movement.
Yes. And the similar movements happened here
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So-
In India, of course, there were lots of such similar movements.
Yeah. So then he had to. He found that he went to Mizoram. He was deployed to Mizoram. Some people say he voluntarily went to Mizoram.
Okay.
And then when he went to Mizoram, he negotiated with Lal Denga's 7 commanders. Now I'll tell you how these 7 commanders came.
Okay.
Because of the Mizoram uprising, the Indian National Army banned 2 battalions that had majority of Mizoram-speaking people.
Right.
So those 2 battalions had commanders,
Right.
right? And they were all
Yeah,
put
they
out of
defected.
work.
So they defected.
So they defected.
Yes.
Yeah. 7 commanders
Right.
were the strength, were the pillars for Lal Denga's movement.
The armed forces.
Yes,
The armed force
yes.
there. Yeah.
They were the one who provided him all the intel, all
Right.
the security, the
Right.
defense, and what they wanted to do.
Right.
And that was really a good uprising.
Right.
But we
Good.
had
I mean, a successful.
successful
uprising. Yes.
uprising. But then we had the man,
Yeah.
and
he
was
went there.
deployed.
He talked with the commanders.
7 commanders.
And got them back, and that was it.
That was it.
And of
so
course
Lal
they-
Denga was crying actually.
Yeah.
It was like we.
But then, of course, he got a political solution for that, right?
Yes,
The
yes.
India was quite intelligent enough to smooth.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Brilliant.
And it's
it's all led by AD.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all
And I mean,
Ajit.
it's a success story. Today, whatever it is, Mizoram is actually a relatively pretty good place.
Yes.
So,
It's a beautiful place.
yeah. And the people are peaceful. There are not many issues there. So, it's a success story. So, yeah, I mean, what we wanted to bring these stories is, this is the person that we are talking about.
Yeah.
Right? And then, of course, there were some other issues with
Sikkim.
we have lots of.
Lots
I
of
mean, we will run out of time if we
Yes.
start to discuss that. But there's one thing that is very famous about him. That is the Operation Black Thunder. Yes.
Yeah.
88.
Black Thunder was
Yeah.
yes. That was right after Indira Gandhi was killed.
Yeah.
Assassinated
Yeah.
actually.
A few years after, no? 80.
In 88.
Yes.
But
yes.
Rajiv Gandhi
was the PM.
Was the PM, and
Yeah.
he didn't want to repeat the mistakes that his
Yes.
mother did.
Yes. He was really worried.
Yes, he was worried, and he didn't want to attack the Golden Temple
Yes.
again. He was really, clear with that.
Right.
He wanted this to be solved
Yeah.
in a nice way.
Yeah. So what happened? There were some militants who gone there, something like that, right?
Yes. So every time what happened was it became a trend that militants would create ruckus and
Yeah.
they would just get back to the Golden Temple for
Yeah.
security.
Yeah.
And because it was a given that nobody would attack the
Yeah.
Golden Temple.
Now 84 was like, that was a strange situation in a way. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody would attack Golden Temple
Yeah.
because it was, the most holiest place for the Sikhs.
Sikhs,
Yeah.
right.
But then in 88, the same thing happened.
That's right.
And
then
India didn't want to repeat the mistake, as you
Correct.
said, and enter AD.
AD was flown back from Pakistan. He was
Yeah.
deployed in Pakistan.
That's another story. Yes. But let's finish this first.
Yes. So he was flown back from Pakistan, and then he comes, and he actually is a hands-on guy.
Right.
He doesn't dedicate.
Yeah. He's not a desk guy.
No.
No.
He also goes and works.
Yes.
So he becomes a cycle rickshaw.
Rickshawalla.
Yeah, rickshawalla. And once he's there, he goes and he examines around the Golden Temple.
Right.
He finds out that I cannot take this operation. I can't carry out this operation without getting into the temple and
Right.
talking to the militants.
Right.
Then he becomes actually a Pakistani
ISI officer.
ISI
Yeah.
officer.
Yeah.
So now this is a very interesting Chamra
Yeah.
because I've had I don't know if I can say this, but in Pakistan, if you talk to little kids, if they want to say a bad word to a friend, they say, "Hey, you're Indian." And in India, it's the same.
Yeah.
They'll call you Pakistani
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
considered that. So turning yourself into a Pakistani
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
is actually commendable. But a lot of spy people have done this, and
Yeah.
in India they call them crazy spies. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they go to that extent of changing themselves into actually Pakistanis to get that intel.
And
It's very important.
that story is not very well written. Let's just mention that also. I mean, Ajit Doval was working in Pakistan for some time, undercover agent. I mean, there are undercover agents who are working here and there. I mean, those stories are usually not coming out because, a successful spy is not a guy who tells his story, right? Sometimes nobody knows what he does.
Exactly.
So that's a forgotten chapter in this whole Indo-Pakistan this thing, right? Hardly anybody. We suspect, but we really don't know the facts, right? So nobody really talks about these things, but there are lots of things going on between them.
Yeah.
So back to the Golden Temple.
So then he gets in as an ISI spy, and the militants are okay. So the thing is, in his stay in Pakistan for 7 years, he develops this Urdu.
Yeah.
And he learns how to speak the accent,
Yes,
the
the accent,
way
yes.
they talk. So, and he becomes a proper Pakistani for the militants.
Yeah.
And what he's telling them is, I'm bringing you intel.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the positions of where the commandos have surrounded us, and he provides them the correct
Yeah.
intel. But he also takes them off their aim.
Right.
He puts them off. He gives them wrong advice.
Right.
And he gets the intel, and then he finds out, once he comes out of the Golden Temple and he gets back to his operation center, what he finds out that it's really hot inside the Golden Temple, and what you have to do is cut off the electricity,
Right.
water,
Right.
and that's it.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
And all the militants, they were starving,
Yeah.
and they were thirsty.
Yeah.
And there was Jagir Singh, who was the leader of the militants. He came out to drink some water and headshot,
Right.
clean
Right.
move.
So-
and then the militants they didn't have a leader.
Yeah.
So they
Just gave up.
no, actually, AD
Ah.
goes in
Yeah.
and he convinces them.
Okay.
3 days. For 3 days, he's properly convincing them.
Okay.
To, come on now. If we are alive, we can do this properly.
Right.
So let's surrender now.
Right.
And then we'll plan later.
Right.
That's what he says
Right.
to these people, and then they are all they surrender peacefully.
Right. Pretty good.
Massive operation.
Yeah, pretty good without all the mess in 1984. I mean, that was a mess.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, so this is the person we are talking about now. Now the most important thing right now, I think, when we are considering the situation right now,
Yeah.
is that India is quite concerned about the borders,
Yes.
especially with the recent developments in Bangladesh,
Yeah.
where they never thought that they'll have to worry about Bangladesh, but then all of a sudden they are in a huge uncertainty because of what has happened in Bangladesh, and now Bangladesh is getting weapons from Pakistan and all sorts of stuff is happening. They are worried about, India is worried about Myanmar. No, sorry. They are worried about Myanmar because it might influence the northeast.
Yes.
And so Doval was there some weeks back in Myanmar discussing the situation. So they are anyway, they have, they know how to deal with the Pakistani situation right now, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, to a certain extent, because it's familiar now. No? It's been there.
Known territory.
It's known territory. It's familiar. Neighborhood policy. Okay, you don't have to regard Pakistan because you know where Pakistan is. But other countries, of course, things are changing.
Yeah.
Nepal, Bhutan, and even in Sri Lanka, in Maldives, there were some problems recently. So India is worried about the neighborhood.
Yes.
So that's why Doval is visiting
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
So actually, Doval is also really a key player to bring the. So India was a very defensive country.
Yeah.
They never went to war with
Yes.
anyone.
Yes.
They're a really peace-loving country,
Yeah, yeah,
probably.
yeah, yeah.
So what has happened was Doval introduced this defensive-offensive approach, which was not taken by India earlier,
Okay.
and which has helped them massively.
Right.
And that's where Doval has really improved the security of India, and
So,
that's security work.
That thinking pattern, changing the thinking patterns. Of course, after he retired, he was the founding director of the Vivekananda Institute.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, I think, affiliated to RSS, as far as I know.
So actually, Doval and BJP go a long way.
Right.
So very good friends with LK Advani.
But
Yes.
okay.
So-
But Doval was brought into the limelight by IG.
Congress. Yeah, Indira Gandhi.
Yes, IG.
Yes,
IG is Indira Gandhi. Yes. Yeah.
So
So,
yeah, that's a really important part where he changes ties, and there's a reason that happens, and it's because of Kashmir.
Okay.
So,
Obviously.
Yeah. Kashmir is the reason. And
Lots of things happen because of Kashmir.
Kashmir. Yeah. So then there's really important role played by him to help the BJP government sustain at that time. But in 2004, something happens, and Congress is back in power.
Back in power. Yeah.
So
that's a different matter. I mean, how they came to power.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, nothing is a setback for Doval.
Yeah.
He sees opportunity everywhere.
Yes.
Nothing is a setback.
Right.
So now he's very senior, and he's next in line to be the IB head.
Right.
And Manmohan Singh goes on and to not appoint him as appoints him as IB head and reduces the tenure for 8 months.
Right.
After contributing this much for the country.
Yeah.
So that's because of his friendship with the BJP.
Yes, the BJP.
Yeah. So then.
And Advani. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they bring out after 8 months, they bring out the next chief.
Yeah.
And he's again reinstated to 2 years tenure.
Okay.
So all that is happening.
Right.
And it's but he sees opportunity. He's very positive that way.
Right.
And now he's looking at he starts this. He has lots of contacts, and he's very skilled and very efficient person. Now I remember this thing that has even been said at the SLVLOG is that all these players that India has in the forefront, let's say Jaishankar, let's say Doval, they're all trained.
Yeah, of course.
They
I mean, you don't have any doubt about them. They are not political appointees or whatever. They are skilled, they are experienced, they are mature enough. You have it, the whole package.
Whole package.
Yeah.
And they come to do the job.
Yeah, that's their job.
Yes.
Obviously, yes.
So now during the Congress tenure, now he's doing something regarding the underworld kingpin. Can we talk about him now? The most wanted man for
the most
India,
wanted man.
Dawood Ibrahim. And in Bombay was not a good, the current Bombay.
Yeah.
in the 90s. It was very unsafe. You can't even have a proper wedding because
Right.
people come for extorting money.
Yes,
It's a
yes,
dangerous
yes.
place. So then the Mumbai police really works hard
Yeah.
to cut them down,
Yeah.
to bring down the underworld, and they've done a great job.
Yes.
Now it's really peaceful
Yeah.
in Bombay.
It's much better.
Yes. And Mumbai police is brilliant.
Yeah.
However, Ajit Doval's now out of the office. He's retired, and he starts. He has this long-term rivalry with DI, Dawood Ibrahim,
Okay.
and he wants to do something about it. He approaches Chota Rajan,
Uh-huh.
who is Dawood's ex
Yes.
gang member.
Yeah.
And Chota Rajan provides him 2 snipers, and
Uh-huh.
he says, let's take some action against Dawood Ibrahim. And then Dawood Ibrahim's daughter gets married in Mecca to Javed Miandad's son.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Interesting ties.
Interesting. Yes.
And then they have
Javed
their-
Miandad was the former captain of Pakistan cricket team.
That's right.
For those who don't know him. Yeah.
Yes. So, and Dawood Ibrahim's the daughter's wedding reception is taking place in Dubai.
Right.
So now they have to take this. Now this is like a surgical strike.
Okay.
This is something like that what US did with Osama bin Laden.
Right.
You just go, you do your thing and come.
And you come back,
Nobody's informed.
Yeah.
The country that they are hosting
Yeah.
is also not informed.
Right.
So they're planning this, and Ajit Doval plans this with the 2 shooters. Mumbai police gets the intel,
Okay.
and Mumbai police is not aware that Ajit Doval is doing this.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And we got a really very experienced IPS officer, a lady, I can't remember her name, and the Mumbai police going and breaking down this, finding these shooters with Ajit at the hotel, and this is in Delhi. So then, actually, Mumbai police actually thinks that these people have come to attack the ministers in
okay,
Delhi because they're meeting in Delhi. So this one's where we can see a dent in Ajit Doval's career, where he actually something comes in his way,
Right.
and he's not able to
Do anything about it.
carry out
Yes.
this mission.
Yes.
And that's when again he doesn't fall.
Yeah.
He sees opportunity.
Yeah.
And he moves forward.
Yes. He moves on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we come to what you had brought out,
Yeah.
where Narendra Modi
Yes.
calls Ajit Doval to Gujarat to create a defense college,
Yeah.
where they are teaching police science, teaching internal security,
Right.
and all this. A really good establishment
Right.
with AD as the head. And then with that, a really key RSS leader from the south calls Ajit Doval to the south to start off the Vivekanand Foundation.
Right.
And that's where you
Yes.
brought that information.
No, that because it was interesting to me because, I mean, politics aside, now, when Anura Kumara Disanayaka went to India, he visited that place. And
Vivekananda Foundation.
yes, and it was, the JVP guys were celebrating as, a very key something very important, a status symbol. Likewise, see, foreign think tanks invite our leader and all sorts of things. But I don't know whether they knew or didn't know who was involved with them and whatever. If they knew when they went there, well, that's good. That's good power play.
Yes.
Right?
So now there's even some political parties who are like celebrating that Ajit Doval spent more time with us.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
spent only 10 minutes with you, spent 1
Yes,
hour with,
yes,
with
yes,
our
yes.
leader. And that's so
So that's a reason to celebrate, no? For some people.
Yes.
Yeah. So right now, what is India's concerns? I mean, regarding all these things that are happening here. Now, I can see in Bangladesh things are not going the way the Indians. Actually, as I said earlier, Indians didn't expect that to happen.
Yes.
They were caught off guard.
Yeah.
And it's a very, in a way, it's a I don't know whether it's a failure on the Indian side, but they just caught off guard. But then
It's not the first time that Sheikh Hasina is being saved by India like this.
Yeah.
when her father,
Yes.
Mujibur
Mujibur Rahman,
Rahman,
yes.
was assassinated,
Yes.
she, when she was young, was also
Yes.
given.
Now,
safe
my
haven.
problem is this. Now, when Mujib was assassinated also, India was caught off guard. The same thing happened this time as well. I mean, they were caught off guard. It shouldn't have happened. But anyway,
India's concern now is that all their neighbors are very, very.
it's volatile.
Volatile,
It's
yeah,
volatile.
yeah, yeah.
You never know where they are turning.
Yes.
Yeah. And China is there.
Everybody loves stability, Chamara.
Of course, of course.
If you want some consistency in life,
Yeah.
I think even in a relationship we
Yeah,
want that.
yeah.
So-
Now, the other problem is India is a rising power,
Yes.
a global power, obviously.
Yeah.
When it comes down, I mean, that's why Zelensky wanted Modi to come to Kiev, right?
Yes.
Because it's a global power. Through India, he wants to address to the global south. So India sees itself as a leader of the global south. So India, it's really important. But if the neighborhood is not
Stable.
then there's a problem. So I think this visit to Sri Lanka is also something.
It's pretty straightforward.
yeah,
Chamara.
yeah.
If Jaishankar is coming,
Yeah,
he wants the foreign ties to be proper.
yeah.
And
Whoever comes to power,
yes, whoever comes to
Whoever
power.
comes
They,
to
they're
power.
not worried. Now they're not
Yeah.
USSR
Yeah.
inclined or USA inclined.
yeah,
They're
yes.
not.
Earlier there was
very situational.
there was a case earlier when they were in the Soviet bloc. Right now it's not there. It's
Yeah.
just stability and continuity.
That's right.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what they're looking at, and they are looking to be a superpower. Now everybody's
Yeah.
going to be India inclined.
Yes.
That's how things are going.
Right.
Because that's how they have risen.
We can't help it,
We
right?
can't
That,
help
that's what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and you
Might
know,
as well adjust to it.
yes.
Yeah.
With the BRICS coming in and with the Indian rupee being globally accepted, you can expect all these things to happen. So they just want whoever comes to power. Yeah.
Yeah.
We support you, but yeah, stay
Yeah.
in your limits.
Yeah.
So-
This is the consistency and continuity
Right.
of what's going on between India and whatever other country,
Yes.
and stability.
Stability.
Because Sri Lanka is quite important for India, no? Economically and also other.
Harbor wise,
Yes.
international relationship wise.
Yes, and future maybe a bridge. Maybe, I mean, there are things that are being
We have a
discussed.
lot of history. India is
Yes.
our big brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So we have India is pretty concerned, even though we are separated by the sea.
Yes.
They are pretty concerned. So that's why he's coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now Jaishankar comes with his foreign plans. Now NSA leader comes with his security plans.
Yes.
Wants security.
Yes.
Is a must.
Yes. Because they are really concerned about China.
Yes.
And China developing a harbor in Sri Lanka. And, I mean, you don't have to say that. I mean, India has a right to be concerned.
Yeah.
Because their security is one of the most important.
Yeah. It's prime for them.
It's prime.
Yeah, but one thing I want to tell you is this is not the first time Ajit Doval has put his hands in Sri Lankan politics. In 2014, 2015, we saw Chandrika Kumatanga, Ranil Wickramasinghe, everyone who brought out the Parliament. They traveled to India. They met Ajit Doval. You know who was planning it? It's not us. So sometimes we are just puppets to another person's plan. Like, Elon Musk would say, we are all, a part of a video game. And we are all thinking that we are ruling it, but we are actually getting pulled. Our strings are getting pulled by someone else. And Ajit Doval is a string puller, definite. He inside his country, outside his country, he's actually being called an international treasure right now because of his involvement in international security. It's just not Indian security.
Yes.
He's called the security heads of all these important nations, and he's had a meeting. So all these things are, he's absolutely skilled, and he will have India's interests in his mind.
Yes.
That's what he brings to Sri Lanka.
Yes.
It might be good for us, it might be bad for us, it can be beneficial for us, definitely.
Yes.
But one thing we have to know is it's not us. It's not us behind the plans. And that's really important. So people who are saying that he spent more time with us,
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing about this Chamra. There was this thing that I've heard about the RNAW, right? They said, what are these RNAW people? What are these commandos? They don't even have a war cry. They don't have anything. Why are they're just okay? They're just silent people. They just do their mission.
Right.
So to that person, there was this guy who told, let me tell you a story. There was a child who was always telling his mother, who's my father? I want to meet my father. And the mother told the child that your father, even I'm not aware of. He came from the back and he left. And then I got you. That's RNAW. They are absolutely stealth. And the way they execute their missions, it's absolutely unknown. Like people, they like political parties, political geography changes around the world. And that's where I'm telling you, the first thing that we brought up was the patterns that are created.
Yes.
It's always created because of people like them. They are really key players. And I'm not saying maybe we should be worried, but we should be aware what he is, what he's capable of, what he's doing.
Yeah, but of course, at the end of the day, when we think about ourselves now, we are in a very, I don't say maybe a critical juncture, but an important juncture.
Yeah.
Now, September 21st, the election, maybe a new set of guys might come to rule the country, and we might see a difference, we might not see a difference. We'll have to see. But India, what they want is whoever comes to power, stability and continuity. So, in a way, that's not too bad.
They'll leave no stone unturned to have that charm.
Of course.
And they'll do anything.
Yeah, because that's their national interest, as Jaishankar would say.
Yes.
It's their national interest. So, we have to know exactly why Bharat matters.
It matters a lot.
It matters a lot. So, let's wrap up this with that note.
Yes.
Thank you
brilliant.
very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Charmer.
Right. See you later.